Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. Well, having just dealt with Lahav Shani's rather dreary Bruckner Fifth Symphony, kind of a snooze fest, I was hoping for better out of his Mendelssohn Scottish Symphony, and by and large, those hopes were realized. I have to say, this is a very good performance, not a great one. It has a couple small issues, which we'll talk about momentarily. You know, the Scottish Symphony is such a glorious piece of music. People don't realize how important it was, because it is the first great romantic symphony to adopt cyclical form virtually throughout. That is, transformation of its basic themes. And this before Liszt did his tone poems or any of that stuff happened. I mean, it was finished in the early 1840s. Schumann's symphonies would never have been possible without this. Without this one, at least his later ones, like the second, and stuff like that. And probably a couple others as well. I mean, the chronology is a little tight, but remember, Schumann reviewed this along with the Italian Symphony. He thought this was the Italian, and the Italian was the Scottish. I mean, anyway, it's an incredible work. But, I mean, Franck's D minor, Tchaikovsky's Fifth, so many. Brahms's Third, probably Dvorak's Fifth and Eighth. There's so many works that owe Mendelssohn a really serious debt of gratitude for writing this symphony. And it is a masterpiece, and Mendelssohn knew it. And he worked on it for years and years and years, like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years. I mean, a really long time before he actually finished it to his satisfaction. I mean, even the coda, which is controversial, because the music kind of stops dead, then it picks up again with this heroic coda. In fact, it does exactly what the finale of Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony does, I might add. And people don't realize, but the end of this symphony, it was parodied quite wonderfully by Sir Arthur Sullivan in the When the Foeman Bears His Steel song of the policemen and the pirates, and well, not the pirates, the Major General Stanley and his daughters. Away, away, ta-ra, ta-ra, these pirates slay, ta-da, ta-da, they do not stay, ta-dum, pa-dum, then why this delay? Oh, yes, we go, yes, forward to the foe. It's the coda of the Scottish Symphony. So if you know your Pirates of Penzance and you're wondering where you heard that before, here it is. Anyway, it's an absolutely phenomenal work. And there's some other lovely things on the disc we'll talk about. So how does the performance go? Well, it's a little bit on the sluggish side when the allegro of the first movement gets going. Just a hair. It just needs that much more impetus. And the coda, when the storm whips up, that really exciting storm thing, could be stormier. But it's well done. It's really beautifully done. The scherzo is slamming. The scherzo is fabulous. Clean, clear, rhythmic, exciting, deft. It's really a gorgeous performance of the scherzo. So it is also with the slow movement, which is simply lovely. Now the finale. Well, the finale goes very well until we get to that coda. Until the Pirates of Penzance part starts. It just needs more juice. I mean, like Bernstein with the Israfel, he speeds up a little bit. Dochnani in his 2 recordings, he gives it a lift. It needs a lift. And it needs more sharpness and penetration from the brass. This is a very covered performance. The strings really dominate. And the music, Mendelssohn is very conservative in his scoring for brass instruments. He really is. But at the same time, when he lets them cut loose, they have to really penetrate. And they just don't in this finale. The end is a bit of a damp squib, shall we say. The Overture, Calm Sea and Prosperous Voyage is lovely. I would have liked a little more brilliance from the trumpets at the end when the Prosperous Voyage becomes prosperous. But other than that, it's really a beautiful performance all the way through with well-judged tempos. And then, as a special bonus, you get 3 songs without words, arranged for orchestra by Lahav Shani himself. Yes, he did it all by his little selfdom with very idiomatic, I might say, Mendelssohnian orchestration. They're very nicely done, very sensitive. Which ones are they? They are, let's see, Lost Happiness, one of the Venetian Gondola songs, of course, which you have to have. It's Opus 19B, number 6. And the Spinning Song, the famous zippy spinning song from Opus 67. A charming, charming selection of Mendelssohn bonbons, which actually, just shows you what a gifted melodist he was. And those are absolutely beautiful. So it's a decent disc. I wish I liked the symphony more. It just needed to have a bit more energy. I mean, conductors today, young ones, when they do these sort of classically oriented pieces, don't worry about good taste. I'm giving you some advice. Let the music be exciting. It's not going to break. It's not fragile. You're not going to be screamed at for your poor taste. Give the music the energy it needs. It's not a bad thing. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.